Hello friends, TechManPat here. Hope you are well. Welcome to this guide to building a computer for your parents or non-techie people like your grandparents. Some sort of personal desktop computer that is very much on a budget, but it's supposed to work, and it's supposed to work for at least the next 4 to 5 years. Let's get into it. We're gonna try and build a very good computer. Now, I like to go to the PLE website, so we're gonna load that up right here. And now my idea for this build, and we'll just zoom in a little bit, is going to be an Intel build because, well, unfortunately still AMD versus Intel. My view and my opinion and my tests so far have shown that Intel is still a more stable actual platform, and so we're going to start with this. So we're going to select Intel. But what kind of CPU are we going to go with? Well, here's the thing. We've got the 9100F 3.6 GHz Coffee Lake for $139 compared to this one, the Intel 10 series, which is 3.6 and it's the Comet Lake. Now these two, there is very little difference between them. So what are we going to decide between the two? Well, technically speaking, we're actually going to save about $80 or $90 because this is a lot cheaper. Now, performance-wise, they will be very similar. It is a last generation CPU. But the other thing to note is the motherboards are still priced a little bit cheaper on this LGA 1151, which is the new CL version. However, it has no iGPU in it. That means if you get this CPU, you will need to get a graphics card. Now, we don't necessarily need a graphics card, but it means there's going to be an extra cost. Now with this one right here, it does have an inbuilt GPU, which we call an APU. So this is the bonus of having a built-in one like that. And don't get me wrong, the i3 is performing very well on the PCs that I've built that does have a built-in APU. So we're actually gonna have to go with this one. So I think we've already added, there it is, the Core i3, 10 series, 3.6 GHz Comet Lake, 4 core and 8 thread. This is going to be a very fast CPU. So let's find our motherboard next. So we're going to click on motherboards and we're going to go to the 1200 socket because that is the new type of the 10th generation Intel CPUs. But we're going to just go by price. We really don't need anything too serious right now. We've got the smaller one here, and I think we're going to go with that because I have an idea for the actual case. So we're going to go with the smaller one, the ASRock, and we're going to add that in, $129. Now we're up to, is it ordered? Yep, there it is, $358. There's still a lot of pieces to go. Can we fit under budget of, I think I'm going to set the budget at this for around $600. I think that's reasonable. Now with the pricing of the Australian dollar, it has fallen down a bit. I used to be able to do a build like this for around $500. I don't think we'll be able to achieve that this time, but let's get on with it. So let's go to RAM now. Now RAM is going to be a really easy one. Intel works really, really well with a lot of RAMs on the market, except AMD has a little bit of a finicky choice when it comes to RAM, so you have to choose the right RAM for your right CPU. So if you're watching this and you're saying, hey, I'm going to build an AMD one, do take care and make sure you test which RAMs actually work with your CPU that you chose. Now, I would say the minimum right now for a desktop computer for somebody who is not a gamer is 8 gigs. That allows them to open up plenty of Chrome tabs, so I'm going to add the GL 8 gig stick right here. Now we can always upgrade that. We've got 2 slots in that motherboard, and that means, you know, further down the line, if it gets not enough, we can add another one for $75, and we can now go to our next item, which is an SSD. Now in regards to the SSD, my suggestion is always just get the smaller one for the boot drive to make sure that all the applications that are on it are speedy. So we're going to go to by price here, low to high, and we're going to look for something around 120 gigs or 240 depending on the price difference. Now $68 to $50, that's about $18 difference, but it is double the price of WD Green. Look, it's a solid performer, WD. They do make good hard drives. They have a high failure rate on the actual mechanical one, but that's not to say that the SSDs are bad, because I do have a couple of WD 1TB blues from M.2 slots that work really, really well for the past 12 months. So I'm actually going to go with this one here, the 240 gig, because the difference of $18 for that extra space is really good. And we might also have to add a 1 terabyte hard drive just for storage, because you know how they are, those old folks, they love to store their photos. So we'll go to here and we're going to go with the WD Blue. Why not? We're all going WD Blue, and that saves us a couple of dollars, especially if you were going to go with the Seagate, which is my suggestion if you're wanting something to last a little bit longer. This is the Fire Cooled Compute from Seagate. It has lasted a long time. It is a small one. It's a laptop one, but it's been so good. I've been so impressed with it. And this is also 1 terabyte, so that's really good. But we'll just go with this one to add that to cart. Did I already add it? No, there it is. So now we've got at $570. We've got 1 terabyte storage. We've got 240 gigabyte 3D NAND flash SSD. Now, all in all, you don't necessarily need that 1 terabyte. That could remove that $69 off your cost of the build, and you'd probably be happy, or you might not even be able to fill out that space. Finally, let's get to the case and power supply. I think that's what we need. That's right. So case, and you're gonna love my choice for cases. It is a classic. If we go to cases, and if we just sort by, we'll just sort by price, I think, low to high, but it is a few dollars more expensive. This case, the Cooler Master Elite 110 Black MITX case, is my favorite case to build in. It's been super fun. The only issues I've found with it is that sometimes the motherboards, even though they say they fit, they don't fit quite well, and it might require some grinding. Yeah. So just to be safe, I love choosing a smaller case for a smaller build, just to take up less space in the room. But if you have some issues fitting that, you can always just jump back to a classic $45 mid-tower case, and in fact it'll look absolutely fine. Looks aren't the whole thing, but in this case we're gonna have to go for this because we're trying to keep it on a budget. It does have a fan inside, so it'll keep it nice and cool. The Intel CPU does keep cool, which is good. So and it's not an overclockable chip, so we'll add that to cart, and we're at 615. We are trying to keep the cost down. So finally, power supply. Now for the power supply, there is one power supply I have in mind for this project, and I think we should be okay with it. Where is the power supply? Power supplies, and oh, there it is. Can you guess which one it is? Yep, it is the Cooler Master one, the 450 watt. Now we could go a lot cheaper to 65, the Silverstone, and don't get me wrong, I've had a Silverstone. I actually have it in a computer right now, and it's working fine, but it has started to make a little bit of noise as of late, and look, it'd probably be fine, but I guess what I want to say with this is that most of the time, computers like this get left on a lot, and you want a good, solid power supply, especially if it's in older homes where the electrical grid inside the home isn't that good. I would suggest something strong. So I'm going to go with this one, the Cooler Master. It has a little bit of more zest to it, so if down the line somebody wants to play some games and add a graphics card, it'll be absolutely fine. So let's have a look at our cart and where we're at. And you know what? Looking at this now at $680, obviously this excludes Windows 10, which I suggest you can buy off eBay for a couple of dollars. And of course, building it together is another sort of part that you, as the person who's going to do this for somebody, is going to do. Now, it's a very easy build. It's like Lego, and this computer will work really, really well for the next 3 to 4 years, as long as somebody dedusts it every so often. And obviously, the part that I'm really happy about is the fact that we can always take away that WD Blue 1 terabyte, because the WD Green is at 240 gigs, and that 1 terabyte, you might not end up ever using it, or that storage might be redundant. So we could reduce the price to $620, so, or $10. So the cool thing here is that, technically speaking, with the differences in the US dollar and the Australian dollar, this is literally what you could have built for $500 a couple of years ago, and it has just risen with the price of the American dollar, and obviously with COVID-19, the prices have been a bit crippling. And of course, Intel, the 10th generation CPU, is also a new release, so that is a bit pricey at the moment compared to what the i3 used to be like. But this build for $680 is my suggestion if you're going to build something for your grandparents, your parents, or somebody who wants a desktop computer, especially if they already have an older monitor and they already have a keyboard and mouse. They will be very happy with this. Friends, thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. Hope it helped you choose what parts you might need to build a computer like that. It's something that not a lot of people get to build, but when you ask the question, you go, ooh, 1080 Ti, 2060 RTX, whatever. We're not going to add those pieces, but again, if you would like to change anything in this, let me know below what you would change, if you would keep that WD blue or would you choose a different WD green SSD. Let me know below. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you in another one. Like and subscribe. Bye!